Listeners, we have Victoria Gates with us. Victoria, how did you get involved with the film Ligeia?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And Ligeia, I was contacted about this film by Alex Emmert, who is the writer and director and has the whole vision. He basically had hired me on a prior film that is in Austin pre-production called Rendezvous. And I've heard through the grapevine that he had Ligeia in his mind to do for years, even before Rendezvous came into the picture. So, he contacted me about it, and the rest is history. Here we are.
Now, I'm curious, you have worked on a film by Dom Franks called The Church, is that correct?
Yeah, well, let me correct that just a tiny bit. I was very much in the running for one of the lead roles, and there was a change in actors that he ended up getting, and our ages just did not match up according to the story, he wanted, and it just didn't serve the story well. So he had to go with an older actress, but I did get a shout out of a thank you. I saw that he told me he did on IMDb, which was very sweet of him. Dom's a real stand-up guy, and I just heard that The Church is he's going to be doing a sequel to The Church. It's called The Church, The Offering, I believe it's called, or The Second Offering, or something to that effect. So stay tuned for that, because that's really exciting.
Well, yes, I had the opportunity of interviewing Dom Franks just earlier this past week. It was very good.
I love it.
I'm curious, do you have an interest in horror films in general?
I don't. I don't hate them, but I'm not in love with them. As an audience member, throughout my life of watching horror films, unless it's something that's really original and has a trait to it where it's very, it gets me really thinking about stuff. Like the first couple Saw movies were like that. But then after the third or fourth, and I'm like, all right, it's not really changing much, of course, because you got sick of the same movie, after a while. It's supernatural stuff, which is what Dom has put into his film. The Church, and what Alex is, we're able to put that stuff in too, when Ligeia, resurrects and all this stuff that Poe wrote. I mean, God, that man is still before his time. It's incredible. But anything along supernatural lines and something that's really original and gets me thinking and not isn't just straight gore where people are getting chased in the woods, and all that stuff, I like. Other than that, I get kind of bored with it,
Right.
So, I do myself like working on horror films. I think they're fun. I think, especially when it's a great script and it's something where that the audience is really going to care about, the actor or the actress in the film and their character. I think that's great because there's so many horror films out there, and there's so many short films too. You just don't want it to be like another horror film or another short film. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, originality is key for me to really enjoy a horror film, whether it be me doing it or watching it.
Now, you're still early in your career, but I have a question for you. What has been your most challenging role to date, regardless of the genre?
Oh, man.
I know, it's a tough question.
Well, off the top of my head, it's, this is actually a given, because when I first started, 3.5 years ago, I was cast in 2 one-act plays. And live theater is so much harder than doing film on several levels, but then also there's different challenges of doing film versus live theater. That being said, I got cast in 2 one-act plays when I first started studying with Kenneth McGregor. He's a veteran actor. He's terrific. You can see him on a lot of stuff. Google him. He's great. But he's a teacher here in Philadelphia as well, and he cast his students in 2 one-act plays. I got cast in both. I was the only student to get cast in both as a lead, and in the one that I did first, the first week of the run, is called Within the Skin of Things. It was written by Mark Patowski, who's also from Philadelphia, and he currently lives in New York. He's on Boardwalk Empire, which is really cool. I played a suicidal on the edge of a New York City subway platform at 3 a.m., waiting for the train to kill myself. And there's, it was very, very taxing physically, emotionally, because I had never done a play in my life. I had never acted before in my life. So I had those 2 things against me, and then just the rehearsals, and the time spent, reaching in and bringing out all this rawness of the character is she in that. She doesn't have a specific name. Her name is she. I remember there was one weekend where I was doing that show, and I got food poisoning. Oh my gosh, I must have gotten sick about 18, 20 times within a 12-hour period. I tried to drink some water before the show, and I ended up coming back up too. So I had zero sleep, zero food, zero water, and I had to do 2 shows that day. They were the 2 best shows I did the whole entire run, because I was just so raw and everything, and just I had no choice but to just be, in that moment and do what I could. But I would have to say that one was definitely on the top of my list. I'm trying to think of another one was a short film I did for a Temple student film a couple years ago, and I played a heroin addicted prostitute. I've never done heroin, I've never seen it, I've never been people around it that are on it or that have done it. I didn't know anything about it. So, and I'm also not a prostitute. So there were 2 things that I really never, has been around or has done. So taking on that role, and I had to do research, and you can't really Google or YouTube heroin addicts and nodding off and all that stuff, because they shut that down on YouTube. They don't allow those videos on there. So I had to go into my life and ask people, find people new people that did it, get the nodding down, the physical traits of being on that kind of drug and this and that and the other. So that was really challenging.
So I'm taking it that do you enjoy theater as opposed to film roles, or which one do you prefer?
That's a tough question. I think I prefer film because I think you have more of a lasting impression, and film is forever. Theater. The reason I think that I do theater is because I used to be a professional ballet dancer. I was with the Pennsylvania Ballet for 5 years, and I never even, as a little girl, aspired to be a ballerina. You know how little girls are like, oh, I want to be an actress or a ballerina. Those 2 things I never even thought of. I was riding bikes and going to the pool every day of my life. I had such a normal, just tomboyish kind of childhood. It's almost like the same way I got into acting. It's I don't really have a choice in the matter. It's I'm supposed to be on center stage or in some sort of camera or in front of some camera or on the spotlight, I have no choice in the matter. I just end up being there. So I think from my being on stage dancing for so long, being on stage and doing theater is it's so, it's home for me, man. I don't even know how to explain it more than that, but it's I'm there and I breathe, I can breathe, I can just And for film, there's just so many, they're so different. But I think overall I do prefer film. I can't really explain why. I just like the whole process a lot more, and I like that it has that lasting impression that theater doesn't have.
Okay. It does sound where the theater, as far as I'm concerned, for actors to aspire to do theater first, at least so that way you're able to project yourself, project the character you have to perform with, and you're good at coming out on a stage, finding your mark without looking at the floor, and they do in some films I've seen.
Exactly, yeah. That's something you have to, that's something I'm really, really fortunate that I have already under my belt, is looking for your mark, finding your light. Finding my light doing theater versus being a ballerina was different, because in theater you're usually always dealing with a smaller stage, a smaller set, a smaller space altogether. And I performed at the Academy of Music for 5 years. I was a little spoiled back then. I didn't know it, but you have wings of 18 rows of lights. So you don't really have to find your light exactly unless you're on a specific spotlight per se. But that spotlight always finds you. I find it really, really, really important for an actor to always try theater. If you want to be or are a film actor, I think it's really important to do theater, because for me, my experience, one, it makes you a quicker take on film, because in theater, you're live. You don't have a second chance to, be like, oh, can we do another take on that? No, you have to keep the show going, And so you are forced to have to learn your lines. If someone flubs up, you have to go along with it, and boy, it's time stood still, man. I've had that happen between actors and I a couple times on stage, and we just keep going, That's how you know, professionals from amateurs, but you just look at each other and you're just kind of But I find it very, 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 very vital to my film work doing theater. and doing it often as I can, because it makes you that much more better on film. That's just my opinion.
So,
and I know a lot of directors who actually prefer to hire film actors that do theater. Not every single one, but a lot of them really, 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 really prefer and like that.
Well, yes, I have read many articles where directors and, some of those famous directors, the Coppolas, a couple of those like that, and it's just a matter that they prefer an actor who has done theater. They know, gee, I'm going to get this take done in at least one take, if not 3. Do you have any aspirations in the theater, maybe to go to Broadway and to maybe one day earn a Tony?
That would be awesome. I don't really have any aspirations to achieve that. I mean, if it happens, awesome. But I don't really have any aspirations for that exactly, no. Not at the moment.
Okay. So, as we're starting to wrap up this interview, what are your upcoming projects that you're working on?
Well, I don't do theater at the moment. One project I'm going to be working on in the next couple weeks, coming up in August, is a short film for Project Greenlight. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's produced by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. And it's basically, the filmmaker makes a 2 to 3 minute short film and submits it to them, and for an opportunity for them to create their own feature film with everything given to them on like a Hollywood scale, like the lighting, the crew, everything. So I'm doing a lead in one of those projects, and I have another project coming up for a commercial for a local company here in Philly, and I'm the lead in that. And then I have 2 other projects for film and pre-production. One I'm writing for a script, and the other one we're waiting for a couple other different odds and ends. And then what else do I have? I have another project in pre-production. It's a horror. It's called Jane, and it's currently in development. And I play, I'm the lead in that. It's a title role. I play Jane, and she's a serial killer. She's a stripper and a lesbian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I play a lot of really crazy, deep, dramatic.
Yes.
But at the same time, I do sketch comedy, so I'm a totally both opposite ends of the spectrum. Comedy's my end all be all, which a lot of people don't know, but yeah.
Well, no, I mean, in horror, a lot of times from my understanding, I've been on set to witness this, occasionally the scene breaks down into a comedy routine. Once somebody flubs the line, it gets really hard to get back to the serious of actually doing horror. So,
exactly.
So if you're ever on set and things break down, you could always go into a little ballet movement, and maybe that'll lighten everybody up for a moment.
That's exactly what I would do, man. It's funny you say that. Yeah, I'm a like, when it comes down to it, I am a straight up goofball.
Well, that's
straight
good.
Up goofball.
There's time for that on set.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's always a time and a place for it, but
especially when
the humor wins the day.
Yeah, especially when the special effects personnel, little stunt, whatever they're trying to do, doesn't work exactly right. Yeah, that's when the comedy really hits.
Funny you mentioned that, because getting back to the church, the role that I was supposed to play, I don't know if I just say the actor's name that Dom originally wanted for the pastor, but I was going to be his wife. He didn't get that guy, so Bill Moseley stepped in, and I'm sure you know who Bill Moseley is.
Oh, yes.
And it was so close down to the wire between who Dom wanted for his wife. He was like, man, and he was going to do prosthetics on me, but he had never done them before and everything, so he just went with the older actress, which was fine. It's his project, served the story better. So they were doing stunts with the role that the lady did, the wife of Bill Moseley. And I heard that, like, she had a little accident on set, like, when they were, I don't know if she was on a bungee cord in front of the green screen or something, but it was almost like there were a couple little incidents where the set was seriously, what's the word? It was, like, cursed. Because all these freak accidents had almost happened. And no one had to go to the hospital or anything, but I was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to do that role, man. Like, what if it ended up getting worse? Like, oh my gosh,
Well, from our understanding, the church is actually filmed in a church, so perhaps
Yeah,
you have a little spiritual influence going on there.
Exactly. That's what I said to Dom. I was like, man, you filmed in God's house, you know, a horror film. So, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if Dom had to get some spiritual influence approval on his film before he did that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your interview with him.
Well,
I'll message him after we get off of here and talk to him.
Well, it'll be on the show soon enough. I think I have a schedule for August 1st, actually.
Okay.
So just before we wrap it up here, how can fans find out about it? Do you have a website, Twitter page, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. My handle is Victoria R. Gates. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com//Victoria Gates Actress. And what other social media is out there in the world? Is that it?
Well,
those are kind of like the two main ones. I mean, I'm on Instagram as Victoria Gates _official. Because apparently, the reason I made a Victoria Gates official, which I'm not a fan of, is there's a character on the show, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but the character's name is Victoria Gates. Like, that's what, she has my name on the show, that character's name is Victoria Gates. So whenever anyone, like, searches that hashtag on, like, Instagram or whatever, that character comes out sometimes, they're like, wait a minute, you're African-American now? Like, no. Castle.
That's it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Castle is a little of a popular show, so yes, tell the listeners there, be careful when you put Victoria Gates in, and if you find Castle, you found the wrong person.
Exactly, this is the real deal right here.
All right, Victoria, I thank you for letting me do this interview. Hope the fans, of course, enjoyed it.
I sure did.
All right?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.